Hey, I'm your Korean dad. You know, people nowadays are really trying to take a fresh look at the way we're doing everything. Just because we've done things a certain way for a long time doesn't mean it's good for you or me or everyone. Sometimes that means making some hard decisions. Maybe there's certain jobs that people do that really aren't helping things the way that some of us thought they did. Maybe certain industries might be beloved in some ways, but aren't always good for the environment. With climate change being such a big problem for all of us, a lot of people are making some changes to what they choose to buy and consume. Some choices look like they're better for the environment. And who doesn't want a better environment? Well, there's been a good amount of discussion on one particular choice: milk. We've been told for decades that milk is good for strong bones and teeth, and milk gives us lots of yummy things that we like to eat, like cheese and ice cream, cafe lattes. But lately there's been talk about how milk in the dairy industry isn't that good for the environment. Dairy cows can produce a lot of pollution that contributes to climate change. A lot of dairy farms, they're not treating the cows very well. So a lot of folks are turning to plant-based milk alternatives. Every other week it seems like there's a new one. Let's see, soy, almond, oat, hemp, pea. It's good to have alternatives, I guess. But what about milk? Well, I heard that there are some dairy folks who are working on some solutions to make cow's milk less harmful to the environment and more sustainable. I thought maybe you and I could go pay them a visit and see what they're working on. It's a company called Straus Family Creamery, and we can meet Albert, who's the dairy farmer there. So what do you think? Should we go check it out? Okay, let's go.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see ya.
Good seeing you
Thanks for
too.
letting us come out.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Hi, I'm your Korean dad too. I started out by asking Albert to tell me more about the problem with dairy and what he's doing about it.
The byproduct of their digestive system is to produce methane gas. Half of it comes out through it's called enteric methane, which is the belches. The
burps.
The burps. The other half is through the manure. After milking, they come here and eat their mixed feed. After that, they'll go out to pasture. We flush and scrape the barns, and what happens is the manure goes into this lagoon where the solids are separated from liquids. Then it goes into this methane digester. It's a covered lagoon that the bacteria digest the manure and the fibers.
Okay.
And give off methane gas that is used as a fuel in our generator to produce electricity that goes, all the electricity for the farm as well as exporting to the grid. The other part of it that we're dealing with is we're the first dairy to have a carbon farm plan in the United States.
You're farming carbon?
By growing grass, having cows graze it, using compost to kind of hold the moisture in the soil to grow more grass. We're sequestering carbon from the atmosphere and put it back in the soil.
So, you know, we see grass everywhere, but don't take it for granted. Like, the grass is really important.
Grass is essential for organic farming and dairy system.
We should thank the grass. I usually take it for granted. I mean, these cows eat a lot of food every day, huh?
Yes, they eat 40 to 50 pounds of
40 to 50 pounds
of food a day per cow. These weigh about 1,000 pounds.
Can you imagine eating that much food? That's a lot of food. And so my understanding is that a lot of the methane has to do with burps. So you're giving the cows red seaweed, and that helps. How does that help?
There's a material, an element in the red seaweed that actually changes the form of the emissions from those bacteria.
Okay.
To more hydrogen than methane.
Do they like the red seaweed? Is it yummy for them?
They don't even know.
Wow. And how much red seaweed are you giving them?
By feeding just 3 to 4 ounces per cow per day of their 40 to 50 pounds of feed, you can get an 80 to 90% reduction in the methane.
80 to 90%?
Yes.
What does a cow's burp sound like?
I have not heard it.
Will anyone of you burp for us? Will you burp for me? So a lot of the methane from cows comes from their belches, but then there's the matter of their cow poop.
Half of the methane that cows are responsible for comes from their manure. But we have the solution. We can capture it under this cover, use it as a fuel for the engine to make electricity, to produce all electricity for the farm, as well as exporting it to power electric vehicles.
So you pump the poop over here?
It's actually pumped over a separator that separates the solids from the liquids, and the liquids gravity flow into this pond where
Got it.
the bacteria digest the manure and give off that gas, the methane gas.
So normally all that methane would just go out into the air and just be one of the greenhouse gases that's really harming the environment.
Methane is a greenhouse gas that's, on a short-term basis, 84 times more detrimental than carbon dioxide.
Wow. Wow.
So it's really beneficial to capture this and use it as a resource.
So it's not the poop itself, it's actually the bacteria that eats the poop that then creates methane? That's
Yes.
the usual, that's the normal problem.
That's the problem.
Oh, wow. So it's not the cow's fault. Don't blame the cows.
Don't blame the cows.
And so what we're standing on right now is, it's like this giant bubble. It's like a giant like bouncy house in the middle of this field. So we're standing on cow manure.
We're standing on cow manure.
Albert, you spend so much energy, trying to innovate, really trying to stay on top of all things dairy, all things, milk production. Why? Why is this so important to you?
So I've been a farmer my whole life, and my parents worked their whole lives to try to maintain farming, maintain the environment. My goal and my mission are to sustain family farms in Marin Sonoma County by producing 100% certified high quality organic dairy products and help revitalize rural communities through education and advocacy everywhere.
Do you feel proud of yourself for all the work you do? Because I feel pretty proud of you.
Well, thank you. I proud, I don't know. I feel there's a lot of work. If I can do something that really helps our community and our planet, I feel satisfied.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like proud. Sometimes people, when they think about dairy cows, they think about them being all cooped up, but they're all out here on this hill.
One of the main tenets of organic dairy farming is that cows have to be on pasture. You have to maximize the time they're on pasture.
Mm-hmm.
When the grass is green is when it has nutrients in the grass. When it's brown, it doesn't have nutrients. But
I didn't know
still,
that. So yeah, why is that? Why is that good for the cows? Why is it good for everyone?
Cows are actually, you see them, they're out there eating grass. They're actually helping the grasses grow. They'll grow back and pull carbon from the atmosphere and put it back in the soil. So as much as we're using fossil fuel that's emitting all this greenhouse gas and methane and everything else, cows are actually the solution. So not only they're eating the grass, but it's also reducing wildfire risk. Cows really have an essential role in our environment, in our farms.
Yeah. Who knew cows were that much more important? Then we made our way to the creamery. This is where they take the milk and turn it into all sorts of delicious stuff. Have you ever seen cream top milk? That's how they used to do milk back in the day, before it was all homogenized. Straus Family Creamery has led the way in bringing back this tradition. Here's where they take the bottles and pack it into crates, so they're easier to transport to grocery stores. This is a special batch butter churn. And this is where they take their organic butter and hand pack it into boxes for bakeries and restaurants to use in their baking and cooking. And this is how they put ice cream into pints. I wonder if the ice cream gets dizzy spinning like that. I know I sure would. And then the pints get packed up into their own crates as well. Whoa, I wonder what that tastes like. Should we dig in?
Ice cream off the line is like no other experience you've had.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh, it's so soft looking.
Yeah, it's like soft serve, but better.
Okay, after you.
Oh, thank you. It's ice cream for breakfast. It's a treat.
Wow. It really is so creamy, it's like soft serve.
You put it in the cup, that's soft serve almost, and then it goes into a room where it's hardened. It's minus 20, minus 25 degrees. It makes it hard in the package.
Wow. Albert, well, thank you so much for showing us around your creamery and your farms. I mean, this is really interesting. I mean, to be able to see the journey from the cows to the finished product, but I mean, This is a bit of a splurge as it is. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, but to be able to see all the work that you're doing to really try to make the world a better place, like through your work, it's really inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing. And please take this ice cream home with you.
I think I'll have to take the ice cream home with me. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay. I'm so glad we got to meet Albert and see what they're doing at Straus Family Creamery. You know, we've got some big problems to solve out there, and sometimes companies and business people want to act like those problems aren't really problems. Either that, or some people will just give up and not really know what to do. But then you have people like Albert who acknowledge the problems and do the work to develop solutions, like their biodigester, or feeding the cows red seaweed, or using methane to power the equipment on his farm. Maybe you've made the switch to a plant-based milk alternative. Maybe you're still enjoying dairy milk, but I'm so glad that people like Albert and the folks at Straus Family Creamery are out there working on making dairy better for the environment. You know, sometimes making things better is about doing new stuff, but other times making things better is about doing things in a way that's less harmful. Maybe there's something you can work on too, to help your family or your community. Maybe it's at the place you work or go to school. Take note of what's going on that's not good. It could be not good for people or not good for the environment. Maybe there's something you can do to make it less bad. Because less bad means better. It's not the most fun version of better, but sometimes it's the most important. So will you try? Well, thanks for going with me on that little dairy farm adventure. I know you've been watching me eat this ice cream, wondering if you get to have any. So here's your chance. Open wide. Ah.